Hi, it's Steffi, and I have not produced any content on this channel yet, but I'm excited to get started. And I had a comment from a friend of mine. I won't say her name even though it was in the comments. She can comment below if she wants to talk about it. But she just said that she feels lost too, because it seems like everything she does is for someone else. And if she does something for someone, for herself, she has feelings of guilt, and that she wants to learn to get over this. And I kind of wanted to speak on this because it's something I've thought about over the years. I'm trying to get better in frame so you're just not seeing my... There you go. I want to get more in the middle of the frame. This is something that's kind of interested me for many, many years, that women tend to take on a lot more guilt than men do about everyday life. When you have a traditional couple, the man is more likely to not feel guilty if he says no to someone or doesn't want to do something, and he doesn't angst over it, where women have the need to please in many cases. And I don't know if it's born from our mothering instincts or what, but it's a chronic issue that many women... Now, there's obviously exceptions to everything. Some women don't feel guilt at all, and some men do. But for the most part, women feel they have to carry a lot more. And someone that I've lost contact with, that I used to be friends with, told me one time that she felt since her husband worked, she had to do everything. But even if she had a job, she would do everything. All the laundry, all the cooking, all the cleaning, because that was her job as a woman. And I'm like, wait. But if you were working, why is that different? And she said, well, because I'm the woman, it's my job. And it's like, I really didn't know what to say to that. I really didn't. And she's my age, maybe a couple years older. I'm 60. And I just have to wonder how much television, movies, our parents' upbringing, how much of that is still affecting the women in our age group. I'm not so sure the younger people are as affected by it. But since I'm 60 and a lot of my watchers are somewhere within 10 years of me one way or the other, that is what I decided to focus my channel on, is women who have felt like they've lost themselves and kind of don't know who they are anymore. And it's just a chronic issue for women. We have these beautiful children come into our life. They are everything to us. And that's how it should be. I mean, your children are your focus. But women need to learn to find a way to keep some of themselves even as they raise these gorgeous children. Because what better influence can you be on your kids than to show them that you can still be creative and interesting and vibrant while raising them? And I really feel that for most of us it's a lot harder. Now I'm seeing more of the young women better able to balance this. You know, my younger daughter, she's pursuing an art career. In fact, I want to have her on the channel. She self-published a coloring book. And I want to have her on to, let me see if I can get it in frame. I want to have her on to talk about her creative process and stuff. She's 35. Her birthday's coming up soon. And her older sister, our oldest daughter, until she had 2 young children, she was also really creative. But 2 young babies, she's in that zone right now where when you have a 3-year-old and a newborn, forget it. It's, I don't care who you are, that's a stretch to really try. And her husband's building his own business. That's tougher. But she'll get back to it, I have no doubt. But for us, raised in a different time, it just seems to be so much harder, and it's much more chronic. I was talking to one of my dearest friends recently, and she was saying how her mom doesn't have any hobbies or interests. She just sits on the sofa and watches TV all day, and that's it. Well, of course, with coronavirus, no one's going out, but she does, even before then, even without that, she doesn't really go anywhere. She just stays home and watches TV, and she's content. And she says that's not how she used to be, and it kind of makes her pretty sad to see her mom like that. But I think a lot of women get so focused on raising their kids. They work, they have a job, maybe a career even. And then one day they wake up and realize that They don't kind of recognize who they've become. They kind of are confused about where to go or what to do. Or like my friend said here, they feel like if they're doing for themselves, they feel guilty. And that if they're not doing for someone else, it's not valid. And that's what we got to learn to get past, because just the fact that we're alive and we exist gives us the right. In fact, read our Constitution. We have the right to the pursuit of happiness. That's every one of us. So whether you have kids at home or not, even if your kids are grown, if your kids are young, it doesn't matter. You need to find something that's yours. I mean, journal, draw if you're an artist. If you got married young and never really had a chance to be artistic, go back to your childhood and think about, what did I like doing when I was a kid? And you may say, oh, that's crazy. I like doing things I wouldn't like to do now. Well, how do you know? I liked to draw. I liked to write. I liked to read. Of course, I didn't garden or bake. Well, I did bake. I started baking at 11 years old. I still have the sugar cookie recipe today, which is one of the things I plan to share here for you guys, that I used when I was 11, and I'm 60 now. It's not my recipe. It's out of a cookbook, but I'll share it with you. I used to like to play kickball. I used to love to run. I used to love to be physically active, you know, running and jumping and playing. Well, why can't I do, and I love to dance. That's my friend and I had a friend in high school, and we'd make up dances to songs. And my husband and I were watching a Hallmark movie the other night, and it was about a girl that went to get dance lessons for her and her fiance, and then they broke up, and she ended up falling in love, you know, typical Hallmark movie, with the dance instructor. But I looked at my husband and said, you know, when I was young, dancing was my dream. That's the thing I wanted to do. But I didn't know as a young kid how to pursue it. And my parents, it just, you know, I tried to take dance when I was really little, got nervous. I didn't want to do it because they told me you're going to have to perform in front of a bunch of people in my first class. And I was like 6, and I'm like, no. So my parents honestly didn't want to pay for me to take another dance class I wouldn't take, and you can't say you blame them. But by the time I was old enough to do it myself, I was gone. I didn't have a job as a young person. I wasn't allowed to work when I was in school. And I just kind of let that dream go away. And I sit and wonder, well, if I'd pursued dancing, maybe my metabolism wouldn't have slowed down as bad as I did. Maybe I wouldn't be so heavy. You know, but I'd like to draw. I like to write. There were so many things I liked to do. And when I got married, I was still doing some of them. I still would dance around the living room and exercise, and that slowly went away. And my drawing went away, and my writing went away, and I found other crafts and things to take the time. But I didn't fight hard enough for me. And my kids would have benefited from me being me. I think it would have been a good thing for them. So I do want to talk more about this subject. I want to get feedback from everybody, because the more of us that talk about this in the comments, the more I can talk about it on the channel, the more we can talk about it in the comments. And maybe we can help each other through this, because, you know, a lot of people would probably watch this and go, so what's the big deal? Just go write or just go draw. But when you have not been you for decades, I'm 60. I had my first child 40 years ago. 40 years is a long time, and I've tried to write here and there. I've tried to draw here and there, and I've, you know, done little bits. I've written some poetry, and I've started 2 books, 2 novels. I got 3 chapters in and never got any further because I had kids. So I want to get back to those projects, see if I can maybe finish them. I want to start drawing again. I want to start just baking again. I mean, baking, I got so worried about health. Oh, I can't eat that stuff. So I lost the joy that I had in baking. Well, why not learn to bake healthier options? That's a thing. You can do that. So that's something I'll be doing on this channel too. Learning to make, I'll still make Christmas cookies, but learning to make healthier options and still be able to do the things I love. One of the things that I've been failing at epically ever since we moved to Texas almost 20 years ago is gardening. California, I could have been a master gardener. I could grow anything. And I did. I grew loofahs. I grew squash, tomatoes, zinnias. Oh my gosh, I had so many zinnias and cosmos and chives. I was great at chives. I moved to Texas and I can barely keep anything alive. I've not learned the zones. I've not learned. I mean, it's drastically different than the Inland Empire in California. So I gave up. Well, why would I give up? Why not figure it out? I've got some books on Texas gardening, but that's the other thing. I don't read anymore. So, and I buy books. I buy books all the time. I'm always buying books. I see books on TV that look interesting. I pick them up and they sit on my shelf. So I am starting to read a little bit. And I know I love to read, so it's kind of silly that I stopped. But this sounds kind of like a dumb excuse, but I love to sit at a kitchen table and read. That's my favorite way to read. I love to sit there with a book. I can't just sit on the sofa with a book like this. I'm uncomfortable. And we haven't had a kitchen table in several years now because we started tearing apart our kitchen and my husband's back started up and we never got it finished. So when our son just got a new job, he's hoping to get out in a few months and get his own place again. When he does, all the stuff that's in the way, the cupboards and stuff for the remodel, are going to go into the spare bedroom, and I'm just going to put a piece of plywood over them and use them as a work table for my Etsy business. And I'm going to get a table and put it in that empty spot that we'll have at that point. Then I can sit and read. Until then, I might set up a TV tray and read or something. But I got to do something because I don't want to spend my days for the next however many years I'm granted, and I'm hoping it's a lot, but I want to do the things I enjoy and love. And when you've fallen out of the habit of enjoying things, it doesn't mean you don't enjoy them anymore. It's just you've found other things to take their place. But they're not always satisfactory. Like, I watch YouTube way too much. I love YouTube. But I should have it on in the background while I do other things. And I do now, a little bit more. When I'm doing my other videos for my other channel, between filming the steps on the crafts, I watch or listen to videos. But since my husband's been home for like 10 weeks, I got in a bad habit of sitting in the family room with him and watching whatever. And because he was home, and I was used to when he was home sitting with him. And then finally I realized he's going to be home a long time. I can't sit here for that many weeks. And frankly, he probably would enjoy some time to himself. So that's what I've been doing. I've been coming into my studio more and more every day. And I'm hoping that I can do more and more of that. And start doing the things I love again. Start learning how to draw again. Start writing again. Get out some of those books that I was working on. One of them's online, one's actually written. And start working on them. As far as guilt, I am doing better with that. I have gotten better at saying no. You know, when our kids were young, I told them, please, when you grow up and have children, do not ask me to babysit, because I babysat so often to earn extra money when our kids were little. And you know what? I've had to babysit full-time for a lot of the last 20 years. And I'm done now. I won't have to do it again, and I won't do it again. I've told them, please, I can't. It's my turn. I've got to have some time to myself now. And we're to the point where I won't have to anymore. I'm not talking a random day or two, or they want to go on a trip and can I watch the kids for a weekend. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about full-time, 5 days a week, or set schedule babysitting. I just can't do it anymore. And I know some people have to. Their kids need them and they want to be there. And that's your choice. You should do it. I enjoyed watching our little granddaughter. She's 3, and I started watching her, I think, 9 months till her baby brother was born, or a couple months before her baby brother was born, and he's 7 months now. So I treasure those days that I watched her. It was right after I started my channel. I started my channel, and then I started watching her. Literally almost at the same time. And I'm glad I started the channel first, because I wouldn't have if I had started babysitting first. And I love my channel. I love my subscribers. I love doing the videos. I enjoy it. I'm trying harder to get better at my tutorials because I tend to pull things toward me and get out of frame. So that's my goal in 2021, is to get to where every single step is totally in frame. And that's something I want to do. But I'm still confused like everyone else. I don't have it together. That's why I started this channel. I kind of understand what the problem is, but I don't completely understand how to fix it. I've heard fake it till you make it, and maybe that works to a point, but I do want to start drawing more. And one thing that kind of got me going on this is one of my friends, Lisa, from the Sue's Me Angels group over on Facebook. She and I became friends when I did the Sue Me giveaway. And she is an amazing artist, but she wanted me to do a parrot ornament, which I'm going to start working on. That'll be on my other channel. And she sent me a picture of a piece of parrot jewelry, and I printed that piece out, and then I drew it out. I had so much fun drawing that parrot. It really woke something up in me that, like, wait a minute. I want to start drawing again. I want to start being creative again. But it's hard. It's not like you just pick up a pencil and you're creative again. You know, you've got to get back in the habit. And I remember my husband's aunt told me, and she was an amazing artist. She says spend 15 minutes a day practicing your art. And I think that's what I'm going to start doing, is just pick a 15-minute slot every day and just draw. And then maybe I'll pick a 15-minute slot a day to write. You know, maybe do that. Pick a few 15-minute slots to figure out some things you want to try again. If you used to crochet and you don't anymore, if you used to do needlepoint and you don't anymore, I don't care what it is that you used to do and you loved it and you haven't done it in a while, take 15 minutes a day. Just 15 minutes. Now, if you get 15 minutes in and you're having fun, keep going. But allow yourself at least 15 minutes when you have time, and you know that the time won't run out in 15 minutes, but at least allot that 15 minutes. If you don't have any other time throughout the whole day, like all I have is 15 minutes, I got to set a timer and I'm done. That's fine. But keep in mind, when you have set a timer like that, it's going to be in your head. Oh, I only got 15 minutes. I got to write, I only have 15 minutes. Okay, I only have 15 minutes, and you're not going to end up doing much. So my suggestion to you is to find a time in the day and say, okay, for at least 15 minutes I'm going to do this. But you have more time if you get into it and you get excited. So you don't get that mental mindset. Kind of like when you want to take a nap and you only have like a half hour to nap and you spend the whole nap going, I only have a half hour. Now I only have 25 minutes. Oh, I've got 15 minutes left. I think we've all done that. So try to find, and if you can't do it every day, try to do it a couple times a week. Just find a schedule of when you can, and that's what I'm going to do. And I will share some of that with you as I get going on it. And I think that it's a step. I mean, I've got so many things I want to try to do again, and so many new things I want to do. Somebody was sharing about felting, learning how to felt wool. You know, I've always wanted to do, or for a long time wanted to do resin jewelry. But my husband and I talked about it, and I said, look, I'm not going to do anything more until I lighten the load in the studio a little bit. Sell some of the stuff I want to sell. Do the things I want to do that are already here. A good friend of mine, Bev, sent me some wool felt. And the funny thing was, I had just picked up a book and was looking how you take wood felt and make these flowers out of it. And I was just sitting there at the computer, just about to look up where to buy wool felt squares. And she and I started texting back and forth, and I mentioned, yeah, I'm going to look at some wool felt. And she says, well, I have some you can have. Well, that was like 2 years ago, and I still haven't done the stupid flowers that I told her I was going to make. And I want to do those flowers. It's not that they're stupid flowers, but I'm just frustrated with myself. So before I go off and do other grand things I want to do, I want to start doing the things I wanted to do that I already have. My friend Cheryl and I were talking about how we're collectors, not just creators, and it's the truth. I think I get as much joy out of collecting my sequins and my beads and the old jewelry to take apart as I do in using it. And that's okay, but I've got to watch how much I bring in, because if I bring in too much, nothing gets done. And I'm kind of really at that point right now. I've got to start creating again and stop. I think in my head, I buy it. I picture what I might make with it. And then I put it away, and in my mind, it's done. Because here it is. There's the stuff. but I didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? We kind of have these mind tricks, and it doesn't matter if it's fabric or jewelry or, you know, whatever crafting, glitter. I know Cheryl says she loves glitter, and I have a lot of glitter too. Glitter, it doesn't matter what it is. If you love it and you collect it to use it, and you buy it for a specific project, but you don't make the project, you got to start going, okay, well, am I going to make the project? Or is this just going to go in there as just more of this product? Putz houses. I've been wanting to do a Putz house. If you don't know what a Putz house is, they're the little vintage cardboard houses that our grandmothers had that have fake snow on them and little trees. Sometimes they're corrugated. Well, we had some, and one of them got damaged, so I was going to fix it. And I told my husband, I want to make some. I went and bought all the stuff. This is when my channel was brand new. The first Christmas, that was 2018, Christmas of 2018, I was going to make this. I'm pounding the table again. I got a bad habit of that. Well, I've got a little box sitting over here with the Putz houses in it and a bunch of materials. Have you seen a Putz house video yet? This is what I'm talking about. Intent does not mean you did it. So you got to start separating that in your head too. And I think I'm going to start really doing some journaling about prioritizing, because I think the danger is right now that I get so excited about trying stuff that I try this and I try that and I try this and I try that, and nothing gets really started because I have ADD anyway, and I'm serious. I've had ADD since I was a child. Was on medication as a child, but do not take medication as an adult. I didn't want to be, the couple of people I know that did. Now I've got like our youngest son takes it and he needs it and it makes a difference in his life. But a couple women I knew that took ADD medicine said it made them more productive, but it made them not give a crap. And I don't want to do that. So I'm not that bad. So I just get a little scattered and I can get overwhelmed, but I can also get hyper-focused on something. So when I do get excited about doing something, I can sit here and do it for 20 hours. And that's the best diet for me, because I won't eat or even drink. I can have a full glass of Diet Dr. Pepper sitting here. I won't take a sip. I could literally have my favorite dessert sitting right in front of me. If I'm working and enjoying myself, it'll sit there and dry out because I won't even eat it. So, but it's been a long time since I've been that excited. I think when I first started my channel I was, and then having a baby 5 days a week kind of made it difficult for me to do what I wanted to do, and it got harder and harder. And then when she was finally back home with Mama and I didn't have to watch her, I was out of the practice. You know, I just didn't even know what to do. But I've had so many wonderful supportive friends, and you know who you are, that have been encouraging me and pushing me at times when I just was so frustrated with myself, that I'm excited to get back to my channel, and I'm excited to really start posting ornaments again. So I guess this whole point of this video is just to say, if you're feeling like my friend does about feeling guilty doing stuff for yourself, or you just don't know how to do stuff for yourself anymore, and it might not even have to do with guilt, but if you're having those troubles, then the best thing I think we can all do when we're going through this is to sit back, get out like an old composition book, you know, just get, you know, those these composition book things. These things, you get them for like $1 or less. Let's see, get it in frame. I'd show you the front, but I got writing on it. But, you know, they have them in all different colors, and they're no more than $1 usually. Get a composition book like that and just start journaling. Write down the things that maybe you're frustrated about. What are the things you'd like to do? Like me, what are the things I'm not doing anymore that I used to love? What are things you used to love to do that you're not doing anymore? What are the things that are holding you back? Like right now, there's nothing holding me back but my own head. You know, the surgery, I think for the last 4 months, the surgery's been like climbing up the mountain, and then once he had his surgery, we could go down. Now the surgery's over, but I had to have a tooth pulled on this side, and in 2 weeks I have to have a tooth pulled on this side. And these are decade-long issues that back when they happened, I didn't have the means to pay for them because they were so much more expensive, and our insurance paid a lot less. And now they are not an option. So I'm taking care. I took care of this side. In 2 weeks, I go and take care of this tooth, and the one behind it has to have some repair done. And so I'm not going to wait on hold for 2 weeks till that's done to do anything. I'm done with having these roadblocks that hold me back. So I just have to get out of my own way and start doing better. Start making lists of what I want to do, and maybe break it down even. Because I have this sign on my computer and it says, if you don't know where you want to go, how will you ever get there? It's the truth. You can have the best map in the world, but if you don't have an end place to go, like if you know where you're starting but you don't know where you want to end up, well, what's the point is the map? You know what I mean? You could just wander. So I guess that's my best advice for all of us starting this journey together, is get your map out and put where you are now and put where you want to get. You don't know how you don't have to know how you're going to get from here to there. You don't have to know that right now. You just have to know that's where you want to end up. And that's where I kind of believe in the law of attraction, that when you put your intentions out to the universe, that I think that's how God's all tied in, that once you put your intention out there, you start attracting the things to you to help you with that. So that's my goal for this next week, is I'm going to start setting some goals in mind. Like, what do I want to accomplish? What are the things I would like to do? What are the things that are most important to me? And start setting those maps up that, okay, well, I'm here, I'm the blue dot here, and I want to go here. And then later I can decide, I can maybe have 2 or 3 destinations. Like, I want to go here, and then I want to go here, and I want to go here. But you don't have to do them all. You can just do the most important 1 or 2, and then go from there. But I agree with that. If we don't know where we want to go, we will never get there if we don't decide where we want to go. So if your goal is to get back to being you, like my goal is, to get back to having your own time back and not being a yes person and helping everybody even when it hurts you, like my friend says she's going through, and many of us have that's how I babysat for so many years. We help to our detriment. And what do they say? I've heard this in other speeches about motivation and taking care of yourself, but it's kind of true. When you're on an airplane with a child, you're supposed to put your face mask on first, your oxygen, before you put the child's oxygen on, because then you don't pass out and the child die. So you put on your oxygen first, then you put your oxygen on your child. So now's the time to figure out what you need. And it's not going to be like that. We're all going to have to work at this. But we got to at least get a destination on the map. And if that's your destination, to figure that out, that's good enough for step 1. Okay, I want to figure out how to make more time for myself and start learning how to say no when I know I need to say no. That can be your first destination. If that's your problem, maybe your problem is you have all the time in the world, like I do. Now I do. I have all the time in the world. I just don't know how to use it wisely. I waste it. I'll get up, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and this today. I'll even write out a fancy list. Well, half the time, if I write down 20 things or 10 things, half of them are getting put on tomorrow's list. Because I don't manage my time properly. So you got to pick your battles and figure out what's the most important thing that you need to work on to get toward where you want to go. And it may be very tiny. It might be a tiny step to start. But, a lot of people say, shoot for the stars and you'll hit the moon. Well, yeah, but you can also do the opposite and totally overwhelm yourself. So sometimes you do have to start small. And then you can shoot for the stars later. But don't feel you have to shoot for the stars right now. Just pick one thing. Like if you say yes to 20 things a week, which ones are the ones you can eliminate first? Which are the ones that you think you need to stop doing now? And then once you've done that, then you can work on the next. If it's just, okay, I get up every morning, I'm retired, I don't have to go to a job, I just can't seem to figure out a plan for my day. Well, they sell, I know I bought a new one for this year. They sell all these planner things that are so awesome, Oh, I just knocked my paper towels down. But this was just at the Dollar Tree. And they're just the little calendar books, And in them you can write, they got lines on every day. And of course, if you buy the more expensive ones, they'll have this month at a glance, and then every month after that, they'll have I don't think I have one. Do I have one like that? Let me see. Oh, I think I might. No, that's a pad of paper. See, I got these at the Dollar Tree too. And these would probably work better. Weekly lists. You got for the week. Let me see if I can put that. This was at the Dollar Tree. And there's a weekly list. So you got a long old page. So something like this would be great. Because then you could say, okay, on Monday, this is what I want to work on. Tuesday, this is what I want to work on. And they don't have the date on them. You write the week of on it. Let me take it out of this shiny plastic. You can't really see it. And you don't have to buy something like this from the Dollar Tree. You can make your own even. You can take pretty paper and you can make your own. But something like this, if you make up, print out something on the computer like this, I bet you there's something free you can find. And just do a weekly goal for the week, that what you want to accomplish Monday through Friday, and then your weekend. I hate that they put weekend. I'd actually put Saturday and Sunday. And just figure out what you want to accomplish that week. And start there. But as I work on this and start doing actual steps, I'll share them with you. But for now, I think that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to take something like this, or I've got a calendar through the end of December, and I'm going to start working on that. But I gotta go. My daughter's here to pick up some stuff, and I'd ramble on forever if I didn't get off. But I want to hear some feedback, what you guys think. And let me let her know I'll be right out. Okay, my phone is writing all kinds of crazy stuff. It keeps adding words. Let me know what you think. And if you have gone through this, what did you do that worked? But that's my first thing I would say to do is make a list of the things that you want to tackle, and then go from there. But I'll be back really soon, and maybe if I make up my list, I'll come back and share it with you in a day or two and let you know how it's going. So, but I'll be back soon, and keep the feedback coming, because I've gotten comments here and there, but that was a big one that I wanted to talk about. But I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.